Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 9/11 on May the 3rd. I can't believe it's May the 3rd already. And welcome all you soon to be public administrators and leaders of the free world. This is our introductory video to PADM 530, also known as Public Budgeting and Financial Management. Woohoo! I mean, how sexy a topic can that be? Uh, I've taught this several times. This is my third time at LMU, and at UT and other places as well. And I have figured out some things that uh, are not as boring as others. So we'll progress on all through it. Welcome to, where are you? Wait. Where did you go? Aha. To Lindsay, Kyle, Corey, Emily, Aaron. You guys have not been in class before. Uh, that's Aaron with an E. And welcome back, Aaron with an A. And Dylan. I'm glad to see all of you. Um, those of you, the four of you who've not been in my classes before, uh, Aaron and Dylan will inform you on the tricks of the trade. The big thing is there's nothing written in stone or chiseled in stone, however you do that. I guess you could write on like the block at UT. Uh, Things are flexible. You can expect abrupt changes in when things are due and what things are due. So uh, just keep that in mind. I'm terribly unorganized, and everybody knows that. So anyway, okay, let's see. This is not in any particular order, just as I kind of thought about them. We'll spend um, the first 3 or 4 weeks talking about book stuff, theories and ideas and concepts and things that other people have done. What kind of budget is this and what kind of budget is that? And what does this do and what does that do and all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about the federal government's budget and Tennessee's budget and the county of Knox and the city of Knox, their budgets. In fact, the Knox County budget and the Knoxville budget are on Blackboard. I'm not sure exactly where, but they're there, and I'll double check and see and let you know. But they're there, and one of the things that you'll need to do is just kind of become familiar with the parts of it. Some of the videos that you'll watch here in this first learning unit talk about the different parts of a budget and what it is and stuff like that. And some of it's common sense for sure, but at the same time, public budgeting and private budgeting are not the same. And that's your first writing assignment, which is posted on Blackboard, has to do with the difference between the two. And I'll talk about it a little more in a minute. Let's see what else. So we'll spend 3 or 4 weeks talking about that stuff, and then the last part of the course, if it looks like I'm not looking directly into the screen, that's because I'm not looking directly into the screen. That's because of where the microphone, the camera is on my laptop. I can turn it this way, and it just looks weird. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, you'll find that I forget things rather easily and rather quickly. Oh yeah, the major part of the course is we're going to deal with a place known as Yagenstown, Yagdztown, Yagenstown. That's a fictitious place named after Dr. Beth Yagodinsky. She'll love the crap out of this. Aaron and Dylan will know that in some of the other courses, we created a town called Thrushville, named after Dr. Mary Ann Thrush. So we're going to be dealing with Yagenstown this time and the impact of COVID-19. As public administrators, you're going to be called on to deal with emergencies clear from the brew that nobody was prepared for. Gee. And so we're going to I thought it would be not only interesting but helpful to a lot of people if we do the class project, the real world exercise, in the context of the coronavirus and its impact on communities. I think that will be a worthwhile endeavor for all of us, myself included. There are some videos that'll be posted. There'll be a lot of videos actually for this. I've just finished doing 5 online courses, 2 at LMU and 3 at Pellissippi. And so I'm fairly familiar with that, although Pellissippi uses a different format. So anyway, that's where the major focus is going to be, is on the real world experience. Aaron and Dylan know that I've had a 30-year career in politics and public administration at the very highest level. And by very highest level, I mean some dude that lived at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for a very brief but important time in my life anyway. I worked for 2 governors. I've worked for Mayor Ash. I worked for him when he was a U.S. ambassador to Poland, which really still baffles me. He knows absolutely nothing about foreign affairs. And I'll do my best not to get on my anti-Victor hobby horse through this course. Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame. Go there. Okay, so that's where the main focus is going to be, and we'll talk about that later. Let's see, what else? I've already talked about that. I talked about that. You've probably already know this if you've had online courses. Keep up. It's much more important now with online courses than it does for seated courses because it's just real easy to get behind. And once you get behind, it's real hard to catch up. So just keep up. When you watch videos, most of them are not very long, maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes. I think one's actually 21 minutes. But they're going to be short, so you can watch them several times. Take good notes. Pay attention. You'll know what things to write down. It'll be pretty obvious. Now, the first few videos there'll be a lot of overlap. There'll be 3 or 4 different ones that will talk about generally different things, but they'll start off with, this is a budget. So just keep that in mind. And they'll all tell you the same thing. There's not much different in studying public budgeting, financial management when I took it in 1983. How long ago was that? I don't want to know. 37 years? Woo! No, that's not right. Yeah, it is right. Yeah, I'm an old guy. It's really about the same. There's not many people do different research topics in it. They do research, but it's mostly modifications of well-known premises and context. They either modify those or they expand on them or something like that. There's not a whole lot of new stuff that's come out. The newest thing that I remember is management by wandering around. And there's zero-based budgeted and program budgets and line item budgets and all those stuff. And they've been around forever. And they will be around because they're the basic things that everybody uses, and there's not much that we can do. And when we get to electronic stuff, as we are now, the mechanism different, but the principles are the same. You still do the same stuff. So keep all that in mind, that there won't be a lot of new stuff. We'll try to make it as interesting as possible. Okay. There'll be writing assignments. They'll be on timely topics. They'll be no more than 1.5 pages. NMT, no more than, which is not to be confused with NNT, no NLT, sorry, no later than. And both of those are axioms. They come right after Matthew, Mark, Luke, NLT, NMT. I didn't do that very well. So keep that in mind. If you go past 1.5 pages, it's a kiss of death. Make sure your will's intact. I'll write a note to your mom and dad, or your spouse, or your significant other, much like I did when I was in the Army and soldiers got killed. I will write them saying, your student died with their boots on, as it were, or didn't die with their boots on. I know what that's from. That's an Errol Flynn movie when he played George Custer. They died with their boots on. Yeah, I know. That's way before your time. Let's see. Like I said, there'll be lots of videos. There'll be every week. Uh, I'll do a lecture introductory video, and it'll do just that. It'll introduce what the topics are. The difference in online courses versus seated courses is a great deal more responsibility is placed on you guys to keep up with stuff, to do the assignments. I get it all there, and then it's up to you to do it. It's not, we're not going to meet once a week for 2 hours at the Duncan Law Center or anywhere else. And I'm going to say, okay, what about this and what about that? We're going to do some collaboration things where we meet in person. We're going to try to do the collaborative thing with Blackboard because that's what the school wants us to do. And if that doesn't work out too well, we'll go to Zoom. So keep those things in mind. And before I forget, which I already have, the most important thing for us to do to begin with is to find a time where all, if not all, most of us can get together for 40 minutes, maybe a little longer, but 40 minutes every week. So what I want you to do between now and Tuesday evening, by Tuesday evening, when I say that, that means 11:30 Tuesday night. That's 11:30 p.m., obviously, if it's not. So what you do is find 3 times between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. where you can set aside 40 minutes to do collaboration stuff, where we can all get together and talk and share and things like that. What was I saying? Do that 3 times where it's no problem. You can do that 3 times when, well, I can kind of make this work if I need to, but the other 3 times are best. So you've got 6 times where we can find a time for most, if not all of us, to get together. And if they're not any of those 6 times, I'm going to assume that none of the rest is available, except perhaps on a short-term, one-time basis. I know some of you have regular jobs. Maybe there's time during the day you can do that. Maybe there's not. That's why I said 8 o'clock. And if it needs to be later than 8 o'clock at night, that's fine with me. But some of you have families and stuff like that. I know. So keep that in mind. But we need that by 11:30 Tuesday night. And by that, put it on in the discussion board on Blackboard. Okay. Let's see. What else have I forgotten? Talked about that. Talked about that. Talked about that. The syllabus will be up. Ignore it because each week, I mean, I've got to put it up and I've got to do it. We will, what you need to do is focus on the learning units and the Blackboard stuff and the announcements. Check announcements and emails every day. I do it twice, once in the morning and once at night. That's where you're going to find the information. That's where the assignments are going to be. That's where I will say, oh yeah, by the way, this one's not due now. It's due next week or whenever it is. So keep that in mind. Let's see what else. I will put my contact information on the board and the announcement or the introductory professor's thing. You'll find it. It'll say contact information. Before I forget, you don't need a textbook. Okay. There will be readings, and they'll come from this book here. Well, it's upside down. Well, it is to me. This is the Politics of Public Budgeting by Rubin. This is the 8th edition. Some of them may come from it, which is just the 9th edition. The reading assignments will be from one of these 2 books. They will be on Blackboard. You don't have to buy anything. If you want to, you can, but I don't know why you'd want to. They're really good books. In fact, they're the best I've found. So there's a couple of other reading assignments that are from other places, but they're all copied. They're all there for you. I'll do my best to keep up with it. I'm kind of hurrying now because if I run over 15 minutes, then I got to do special stuff. Anyway, I think that's about it. I may make an addendum to this one. In fact, that's probably what I'll do and go over a few other things in a little more detail. So welcome to Public Budgeting. I'll see you guys later.